I know I've mentioned very often that leadership is not about title, but it's in the qualities that you make to inspire people, to motivate them towards achieving something greater. And that is very true, because when people don't understand what leadership is all about, it becomes very difficult for them to move things, to make changes in their society. And what differentiates between a stagnated team and a successful one is the quality of their leaders, how they implement principles. And it is very important to me and to my team because they understand the qualities that the leader brings to the team. So why is it important for you to have these leadership qualities? It is important because it helps you become a good decision maker. You make decisions that move results, that drive success. It prevents you from being threatened by people's success, by feedback, by every other thing that comes into your team without your knowledge. It prevents you from becoming this person who doesn't have trust, right? You cannot build trust with your team. But when you are a good leader, which doesn't come naturally, as so many people think, is something that you practice, you can build over time. For some people, it is considered as talent, but I don't really see that, because it is the compoundment of certain things that you do consistently that compounds all of these and you become a great leader. So for me, you build trust easily when you're able to lead in the right way. And what I have for you today is 5 fundamental principles that if you apply the right way, you will see that your leadership journey doesn't just become easier, but it becomes better and better for you, which is very profound in a way that has never been done before. Because early on this year, 2026, I had so many challenges in the terms of leading, in terms of managing people, and I had to understand what's the difference between leadership and management. And I came to understand that they are 2 different things. The first thing that you need to understand is self-awareness, right? A leader who understands their strength, their emotions, their weaknesses, and how they can impact others is a great leader. That leader can manage a community, can manage an organization, which is very profound. And it doesn't just help you know how to manage other people, it enables you to be contained, to be happy. Self-contentment or happiness comes from your ability to know who you are. Who am I to the society? Who am I to myself? What makes me happy? Once you have been able to understand these things, it becomes more easier for you to understand other people, especially in your team, in your organization, in school. Wherever you are functioning, it becomes very much easier. The second thing is emotional intelligence. That is your ability to notice people's emotions, understand them, manage them, and adapt. It is very, very important. If you have this ability of understanding your own emotions and relating with other people's emotions, it becomes very, very easier for you. I want to provide an article that gave a very good and profound example on how people have a different view of others' emotions or of others' feelings. That article said someone might be going through a struggle to get an iPhone, right, a cell phone, because they don't know how they can manage their life without going on social media, and they're really struggling. And then there's another person on the other side who wants just money to buy medicine, to buy food, and they cannot get it. Now, both sides are going through some emotional stress, some emotional discomfort that you cannot understand it on the other side. You feel like the person who needs money just to buy a cell phone is getting out, and the person who needs money to buy medicine and buy food is on a good side. But the truth is, you cannot experience this if you are not in their shoes. So your ability to identify those emotions, know how to understand them, and most importantly, manage them is a core concept that you need to understand as a leader. And that is our second point. The third point is very important, and that is owning your decisions, your action, your direction, and understanding the outcomes of what you are working towards. It is very important because In that moment, that is where you build trust. People can see from your own perspective, if this person can be this reliable, if this person can be this consistent, then we can build on something. It is a quality of leadership that I admire so much, because if you need accountability from other people, it should start from yourself. If you need accountability from your team members, it should start from you as a leader, which is very perfect. For me, that is enabling consistency in your team, enabling trust, enabling perfection, which is something that I found very interesting when I'm working with teams as a leader, is compile over time to make you become more successful and more visionary driven. And if you don't embrace this aspect or this core concept of becoming a leader who is accountable, it will be very difficult for you to get that from other people. So you need to be accountable. The next point is very interesting. It's a profound leadership skill. It is a core concept that you need to understand, and that is vision and clarity. It will be very difficult for you to lead an organization that you cannot give them a clear direction or an idea of where you're heading to and how you're going to communicate it to them. It becomes very difficult, because if you cannot communicate the idea to them, you don't expect them to work with you. It will be very challenging, because people follow leaders not because they are perfect, but because they are present. They follow people who know the way, they go the way, and they accept every other challenges that comes in that direction. So it is very important that you have a vision. You have a vision for your company, you have a vision for your organization, and you know how to communicate it. That is why I put it as vision and clarity. If you cannot communicate your ideas, if you cannot communicate what you have in mind to your team members, it becomes very difficult. This doesn't mean that you need to become a visionary leader before you can build something massive. No, it simply means that you should be able to have a vision. What is the direction we are going to? What is the idea, the explanation behind this idea that you have? Because I've seen so many teams fail because they have a very brilliant idea, but they cannot communicate it to other people. And it becomes very challenging, because if I cannot see the direction of what I'm doing, there is this fear in me that this might not work. Before I share this last point, I need you to do me a favor, double check if you're a subscriber to this channel and hit that subscribe button. That will mean so much to us, and it shows that we are making a difference in everything that we're doing here. And if you hit that like button, it is going to reach out to more people. The last point is very profound. It is very important, and I think it can make a difference if you apply it the right way, and that is adaptability. Your ability to learn from your mistakes, your ability to go towards the path of change, and your ability to make a difference in those decisions is very massive. That is taking all these things that you have learned, moving towards the path of change, and building a strategy for it is very massive. And the earlier you start understanding that as a leader, there are things that are going to change. Things are going to move towards a direction that you never expected, and you need to respond to them in a calm way. You need to use it as a strategy. It will be very easier for you to succeed in your organization, and it will be very easier for you to build something very massive, because a good leader is someone who understands themselves, right? Manages emotions effectively, is responsible for their action. That is something that you need to understand, and also needs to be adaptable. If you are not adaptable to changes, if you are not responsible for your actions, if you cannot manage other people's emotions, it becomes very difficult for you to communicate your ideas and your vision, which is a core concept for leadership. You need to be able to communicate your ideas with clarity. And One more thing that I need you to understand is this: what defines you as a leader is not perfection, it is not a title, it is your willingness to change, to learn, to grow, and to make a difference. That is why we build communities like this, so that we can figure out what leadership is all about. We can figure out how to make a difference in the society, and most importantly, to manage projects. But you cannot manage projects if you don't know how to manage people. That is why I always say that the people aspect of managing project is the most important thing that you need to understand as a leader. And for me, it is something that has made me become who I am today. And it can change your life in a very profound way if you implement these principles and adapt to them. So if anything I've shared with you today resonated, if it sparked a thought, a question, or even just a feeling, then hit that subscribe button. And my promise to you, alongside with my team, is to consistently bring you real, honest, and valuable content that helps you figure out project management, leadership, one conversation at a time. Thank you for being here.